Hi, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about how, when and why you should potentially get rid of some of your clients. Okay, quick interlude. If you're watching this on YouTube and you are a current VA or you are thinking about becoming a VA and you have burning questions, pop them in the comments. I am in a video making spree right now and I want to hear your suggestions. Whatever you want videos on, I'm going to make them for you. Head to the comments section and then come back to this video. Now, getting rid of your clients might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes you need to get rid of one client in order to make space for a client that gives you more longevity, growth, and enjoyment in your business. So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about when and some of the signs to look out for you should be considering getting rid of a client. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step process on how to actually get rid of clients in a way that does not damage your business long-term. Now, I have my notes here, so if you catch me looking down, that is because I'm not a genius just yet. So when should we consider getting rid of a client? Well, number one is if that client drains your energy. Now, what I mean by that is they are the person that is always calling you in the evenings. They're in your Instagram DMs, they're in your Facebook Messenger, they're WhatsApping you all hours of the day, and they're consuming so much of your energy, more than they're really paying you for. Secondly, if the tasks that you're doing for that client really drain your energy, so maybe they're tasks that you don't actually offer. So maybe they're things that you've kind of ended up doing because you've been working with them for a while and now you're kind of doing customer service, but actually really you do social media management, but you took on the DMs and now you're doing this. And you're like, this actually consumes so much of my energy, it tires me out because it's not aligned with what I love, what I value, right? It's not your niche. And so if a client is ending up being one of those clients who are doing tasks you don't actually enjoy, I would definitely consider binning them. Secondly, if they do not respect your boundaries. If a client doesn't respect your boundaries, that is a big red flag. And these are the boundaries that should be outlined in your contract when you start working with your clients. So these might be hours of communication, right? I work between X and X, Monday to Friday. It might be you saying, I respond within 24 hours or I respond within 48 hours. And you're constantly saying, hey, why haven't you messaged me back yet? I can see you're online. It might be that in your contract you have it outlined they can email and WhatsApp you, but not to Instagram or Facebook message you, and they're doing that. So they're not respecting your boundaries. That is a big red flag in terms of a client. Next, you have they're making unreasonable requests. Now this might be saying, hey Soph, I need that blog post. Any chance you can smash this one out in 2 hours? You know, if they're making a request that's like, this is completely unreasonable. Now, occasionally we obviously fulfill unreasonable requests for our clients because it massively gets us in the good books. But if you're constantly getting these unreasonable requests coming through your inbox, then it's probably time to get rid of that client. Fourthly, if they are ever late with payments, that is a bit of a black mark against their name right there. Being late with payments means that they don't respect you or your business, and you could run into a position later on where they don't pay an invoice. And then you've done a whole month of work with zero pay. Doesn't sound ideal. Fifth, if they violate contract terms, and I've kind of covered that above quite a lot, but if they ever go against anything that was outlined in your contract, then again, they don't respect you or your business. Six, if they are not open to feedback. Now this is a little more nuanced than the ones above. Let's say you do customer relationship management of clients, let's say, right? So they're a PT and you manage their clients and their potential new incoming leads as well. And you've got a really good system that you think would make it easier, would mean that you get back to clients faster, that you're giving a better service, but mainly it would mean that it makes your life 10 times easier, right? So you're less likely to make mistakes, they have better visibility perhaps. And you go to them and you pitch this way of doing it. And let's say it's totally free. And they don't give it 1 second thought and they just say no. Then for me, that's the type of client I'm not sure I want to be working with. It's the kind of client that doesn't want to grow their business, right? It's the kind of client that sees you simply as a resource, right? You could be replaced with anybody doing this really formulaic system they've put in place. When actually what you really want is clients that say, oh, you're an expert. Yep, if you've discovered a new system that's going to make our lives easier, fantastic. They trust you, they respect you, and they see you for your expertise instead of just being a kind of manual resource in their business. And then lastly, if they ever do anything unethical, or if you ever get that funny feeling in your tummy, you know, that moral compass, that what they're asking you to do or the activities of their business are a little bit questionable, right? You're kind of starting to think, oh, this feels like it's towing the line with being legal, or this is making me feel uncomfortable in any way, if it's going against your values perhaps, then I would always cull the client at that point, and you want to get your business and you as far away as possible and protect yourself. So let's go 7 reasons as to why you may decide to bin a client. So it really all boils down to they're not respecting your boundaries, or they're not respecting you, and they're not aligning with your niche. Then those are clients we don't want. And when we get rid of clients, we make space for new clients. Nonetheless, this can be a really difficult conversation. So let me give you some pointers on how to actually bin a client. The number 1 rule is that we are open and honest with our communication with them. We want to end on good terms, and this is because they may always refer people to you in the future. You don't want to damage the reputation of your business. Never ghost a client. Never just break up with them via email. First thing you need to do is you need to go ahead and look at your contract and call it into play. So in your contract, you should have each party may give 4 weeks notice, or whatever the notice period is, and make sure you know exactly what the contract says. Then you're going to want to call the client and let them know the issues that have presented. So say, I'm really struggling with the fact that you're messaging me 24 hours a day on channels that we agreed in the contract were not going to be used. I feel like I'm really struggling to keep my work-life balance because of it, and give them the opportunity to change, right? You always give them the opportunity to change unless you absolutely hate working with them. Then you can say, in our contract, we had a 4-week notice period, and I think I'm gonna need to call that into play because this is no longer aligning with my values, this is no longer aligning with my business. Whatever the reason is, right? Whatever the reason before that we just listed, you want to call that in, explain to them that unfortunately for you, this working relationship doesn't have a future. So we have consulted our contract, we've called them out on the behavior that is making us want to end the relationship. We've seen if they've noticed any changes, if they've made any changes. If they haven't, then we want to go ahead and put together a transition plan. Now, a transition plan is either to say, you can give this to your new VA, or it's them taking back the work themselves, depending on what they want. And you can always offer to them, I'm happy to train up a new virtual assistant. I'm happy to train up someone else. And so whether that is writing out SOPs, right? These standard operating procedures of the business, or the processes, whether that is ensuring there's a document with all of the passwords and everything that you do right now in it, whether that is closing off certain projects, right? You might have a project that has 5 weeks left. If your notice period is 4 weeks, I would definitely consider finishing that project. It's good to end on good terms, remember? Ensure that this transition plan is really seamless, right? You want to exit on a good note without doing any additional work. You want to be paid for the entirety of your notice period, but you also want to be able to say to them, here you go, here's all your work back, here's the business back. And that is going to leave you in a really strong position going forwards. Once you've done all of this, you need to ensure that everything you do is in writing. So once you've had that conversation with them about the boundaries not being respected or it's not aligning with your niche, then you want to go ahead and follow up in writing. And then when you decide to instigate that transition plan and you decide to actually leave that client and stop working with them and start the notice period, make sure you've got it in writing. It's really important, just like your contract is in writing, that all of these comms are as well, so that everyone knows it was the 17th of March, that is the date that you kicked in the contract, right? And then it was, you were gonna work 4 weeks, so 4 weeks from the 17th of March, boom, that is your last day. And then a few days before you end, you definitely want to get on a call with that client and just check in with them. Make sure that they know that everything's been handed over, make sure they know where everything is at, they've got everything they need. And then you want to go ahead and ask them for a testimonial or a review. Maybe this sounds weird, but you want to get feedback from them. 1, because it's going to better your own business, and 2, because you're going to use it to find future clients. Social proof is super important in your business, and just because you're ending a working relationship doesn't mean that somebody doesn't think you did a great job. Now, navigating this can be really difficult, but note that the most important thing is that you're open and honest with your communication. You explain why, you ensure that you know what your contract says, and then you put everything in writing. If you only do those 3 things, you've still had a successful departure from a client. So I hope this helps, some reasons why you would maybe get rid of a client and actually how you're going to go ahead and do that. And just remember that getting rid of clients creates space, opportunity, and energy within your business to grow, to flourish, to go and find new people in your niche, and to build something bigger and better that is better for you, because that's what this is all about. If you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, then please do go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube or watch some of the other videos, or maybe do both, and I will see you very soon.